Welcome to another festive edition. It is December of Stu's Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 163, and it is a returning guest. A third time for this man. It is Mr. Franco Varga, the biggest wrestler ever on Stu's Wrestling Podcast. Again, you were here for episode 63 and 120, and you're now here for 163. How are we, Franco?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, good. Now you have been busy this year. So yeah, how was 2023 been, man?
2023 was a lot busier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was funny. I told myself in the beginning of the year, okay, I'm gonna take it a little easy, and no, it did not turn out that way. I ended up wrestling in four different countries, UK, being one of them, and or England being one of them, and it was nuts. It was nuts. And then 2024 already is big debut in China. Um, I mean, 2023 ended really crazy with Chris Jericho and Vietnam Pro and just a bunch of crazy shout outs and things like that. So it's getting it's getting to be it's all the journey, right? I've always said that, it's all about the journey. So it's getting to be a little crazy for me. But then we just announced first time ever Franco Vargas, first time ever Canada, which is again crazy to see how far we were taking this little idea that I thought was going to be a couple shows and done. It's just nuts. It's just crazy. And then of course On Tap Wrestling was amazing this for us this year, which is our bar show. We did a bunch in Atlanta and Minnesota, sold out crowds. So yeah, it was it was a lot, man. Shout out to my team, Ryan and Jake and Jesse and Sherry and Steve. Everybody was just amazing this year, and I can't wait for what 2024 has for everybody. And most importantly, I try to do as much as I can, but I stay out of the way as much as I can. Because I know that at this point they're stand here, smile, say this. You're Franco Varga, let us do the rest. So I'm super grateful to have them around, and yeah, it was a hell of a year, man. So I can't wait for next year.
I love seeing the meet and greet with Simon Gotch, by the way, from October. I loved it. I did catch that.
Nice.
Fantastic. How cool
Uh,
is that, man? How cool
yeah, it
is that?
was it was it was awesome. Funny story about that is those kids, this wasn't, I don't think it was a thing with, at least with us when we were growing up, but they have these points. They develop these points. So when they're good or whatever, they get these points, and things cost points like chips, potato chips and things like that. They get like special extra, time off. Well, to me, myself, and Simon Gotch was like 20,000 points. And I was just kind of like, wow, they spent 20,000 points to meet us, and it was just like this awesome experience for some of them. Some of them knew who I was and had no idea who he was. Some of them knew who he was and had no idea who I was. It was awesome. So we just kept going back and forth and making the kids laugh and stuff. And then we invaded a classroom that was a math classroom, and I took their tests, and I'm pretty sure I failed it. But but we were just all over the school doing so the meet and greet became a whole school takeover, but yeah, it was a fun day, a great day. It was part of a grueling 4-day tour with Tri-State Wrestling in Missouri. So
Mhm.
they do 4 days in the same state, and then they kind of move over to the next state. So it's actually pretty cool. Good experience for a lot of the people, the newer people on the tour, and you got to meet a ton of people that way. And I was a champion going in, and I was a champion coming out. So I was very proud of that. 4 days though, 4 days in America. I've done 30 days in Canada. I've done 22 days in England. So I mean, it's what I do. But yeah, I mean, I just it's not for everybody.
Do you ever have to pinch yourself? I've never asked you this on the previous two episodes, or do you not get? You're not in that psyche with it now because you've travelled. You're so well travelled now.
um, no, I mean, I think the really big things like when getting tagged and messaged by Chris Jericho, and I was just like, nah, I'm still asleep. There's no way. Like it's 2 in the morning, you know, where I was, it was 2 in the morning. I was like, nah, there's no way this is a dream. And sure enough, no, that was a little surreal to me because I haven't seen or I don't really have a relationship with him and I haven't really seen or anything with him since 2016 in Las Vegas at this thing called the Cauliflower Alley Club. He
Hmm.
was there. He wasn't even at the club. He was at this other nightclub across the way. So that's where I met him for the first time, ever. But yeah, I didn't even think he'd like remember me or any of that stuff. But he just thought that what I'm doing in China, and the Great Frontier, actually competing and being the main event for the heavyweight title in China, he thought it was cool. He thought it was, something worth talking about. So yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I've done a lot of newspaper articles and radio interviews and magazine stuff, and I don't really subscribe to the list thing. I mean, there's a lot of those list things are made by like hobbyists, you know what I mean? Like, and we've touched on that before in the past, like the top
Hmm.
100 of this or the
Hmm.
500 of that or whatever. I don't really, win, lose, or draw. I don't share those things just because it's somebody's opinion, and if the Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart ever made a list, then I'd want to be on that one. And but other than that, I don't, it's fine. Like, so those kinds of things, I don't really, but for someone who I respect in the business, who I've loved to, their experience, an opinion without experience is nothing. You know what I mean? So I think Jericho has the experience to have an opinion, and that's why I was just so taken aback with him, uh, thinking so fondly of what I'm doing. So I was very very happy to see that. I didn't have the words. Plus, it was 2 in the morning. So, but I didn't have the words, So I just thanked him, and yeah, we just kept it moving. So hopefully, he just popped up at Vietnam Pro. There's already rumors he might pop up during Middle Kingdom Wrestling in
There
China.
could,
So we'll
there could
see.
be, there could be another match in the offing here.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll speculate it.
There's already It's crazy how fast
Oh,
speculation happens. Yeah, there's
oh
already
my
speculation.
days!
So it's gonna be
Amazing,
crazy.
amazing. Do you know what? As well, putting the guys he's put over this year as well. I know it's not about wins and losses,
No. Yeah.
these days, but he's really been good with Takeshita and people like that, hasn't he? He's really helping those guys. I know he's always done that, but
Of course.
in previous places. But yeah, it just goes to show wins and losses. But he's helping them guys come up, isn't he?
Yeah, and they always say like you always give back to the business at a
Mm,
certain point in your career.
mm,
You know what I mean? I'm not at that point yet, but I think he is, and that's why you're starting to see a lot of that. Like there's a lot of guys that are legends now that have
mm,
told me like you got to focus on yourself, focus on yourself, focus on yourself. So I lost focus for a few years and trying to do other
mm,
things and bring other people up,
mhm,
and it started, affecting me just in a negative way. So I just kind of focused on myself. Now you see I have these monster years again, and to people, like, oh, what a monster year! It was insane. You did everything, but I just kind of go with what comes naturally, and these opportunities come up, and I never say no. You know that I never say
Absolutely not.
no. I always try to
Absolutely
make
not.
something work. So
Hmm.
so I mean that's just kind of the next year hopefully, and the year after that. So something new I'm working on that I think you'll be um interested in is I'm working on a DVD project, but it's like a mini documentary. So
Mm,
it's like you tune in, you watch the match, and then that's it, right? So what I want to do, that's the normal. So what I want to do is you tune in, you see a little bit about me, see a little bit about my opponent, you see why we're wrestling, and then you see the match. So it gives you a little bit of a
mhm,
different perspective on
mm,
why things are happening, and the day to day, and the
mm.
little bit of the backstage stuff that happens and all that. So I think that's something that the fans definitely want to see. So that'll be the big thing for me next year is Franco's Modern Life is what we're calling it. So I throw back to the one of my favorite cartoons, and everyone on my
Rocco,
team is one of their favorite cartoons as well. So
we got
yeah,
we
so
got
that's
Rocco. We got Rocco
yeah,
on the old Channel 4 when satellite wasn't everywhere. So yes, I
nice.
do. I remember it. I'm Doug.
Yep, I love that show.
I'm Doug. So yeah. not to make it about the cartoons from the 90s, Franco, but I like it. I like what you've done with that. And yeah,
Nice.
that's something I look forward to seeing because I like that. Your perspective, and then what goes on, because we do only see the matches a lot of the time, don't we?
Yeah,
And
yeah. So I mean, it
with a
just
lot of things.
Yep. So we'll be dropping the first kind of like the trailer slash pilot episode of it in January. So look out for that. I'll definitely shoot you a link too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. When are you traveling to China? I'm assuming you're going to be going early. The cultural side and stuff
Oh
of that
yeah.
nature. I know you like to be in town early to do
Yeah.
stuff outside.
Yeah, I have a lot of press to do when I'm there, so I'll be there early for that anyway. But oh, there I am. But no, I definitely want to take it in. It's a multiple show deal, so it's not like I'm just there for the one show and all that. But I definitely want to see as much as I can of the mainland while I'm there, and then maybe in the future go out and venture out. But this next trip, I definitely want to see as much as I can of the mainland, and Adrian and the team at Middle Kingdom Wrestling, they've it's just been a journey for between us, my team, and their team, because I mean, it's been 4 years in the making. This booking, this is 4 years in the making. We were talking about maybe going to China, and then of course COVID. The whole pandemic shut all that down, and then we just kind of thought it just wasn't going to happen, and then we just got the approval this year to do it, and everybody was kind of, it was just crazy. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's finally happening," So I was just kind of like running around my house like a little kid, but uh, but I was very happy just because this is one of the, everybody wants to be in the WWE, everybody wants to be the world heavyweight champion, everybody wants to, my goal when I started, one of the things on the 10 things that I wrote down when my trainer was like, write down 10 goals for yourself and look back on them in 10 years, one of those things, believe it or not, was to wrestle in China. So I've always thought it was just to wrestle of course, many countries as I could, and to be my own brand more so than be part of a brand, but to be my own brand of wrestling. And but mainly, I really wanted to wrestle in China for some reason. China, Spain, and Mexico, which I've done the two, but China I haven't done yet. So yeah, I just think it's just surreal to me because I can't believe that's one of the things I wanted to do when I first started, and now it's finally happening 10 years later. So it's nuts.
Chuff for you, absolute chuff for you. If anyone deserves to be having these opportunities, I'm not blowing smoke.
No, no, I'm just another
Professional,
guy trying to not look stupid in spandex. That's all it is.
professionalism. You exude professionalism, and that's you've worked damn hard. So I'm just proud that it's come off. 4 years. It's you're doing it. You're going, and incredible.
Thank you, man.
More memories, man.
Yeah, I'm big on that. You know that it's all
Mhm,
about, what are we going to be able to tell our grandkids, Um there's a lot of drama, and I try to avoid all that drama stuff
mhm,
and all the,
mhm.
I just focus on doing stuff that I'm going to be able to tell my grandkids and the world stories, all the crazy the stories the road stories and all that. So, but no, 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 I'm not the only one. I mean, you have been, I mean, when I first met you, we were on some little Facebook podcasts, and now, I mean, you're blowing up, dude. You got the MMA, and you got this, and you got that, and now you just Stu's Wrestling Podcast with this sweet background. I mean, you're killing it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we did a little. We did a little reunion one today for the MMA and
Nice,
boxing, so that was cool.
nice.
Just talking about all that sort of stuff. Looking forward to the fight actually on Saturday evening.
Yep,
Our man Edwards against Covington, which should be fire. And can't get over these Brits. I can't get over these
I
Brits.
know.
Aspinall interim champion. Do I
Taking
think?
over.
Do I think John Jones beats him? As much as it pains me to say it, yeah, Jones still beats
Yeah,
him. Look
come
what he
on.
did to Gam. Look what he did to Gam. But
Yeah,
as Chris said, Aspinall is good on the ground. He's better than Gam. With his
yeah,
jiu-jitsu and stuff. And I know
yeah.
you love
But
your combat.
I
I know
mean,
you love
it's
your
it's
combat
John
sports.
Jones. It's John Jones.
Yeah.
He's the face of the company for the reason. I mean, the guy's he's one of those guys that you just can't ever count him out, you know. And if he takes the fight serious, I think he'll be. I think we'll be looking at a new champion again. So
Absolutely. I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed for Aspinall though. He's done. He's done fantastic. Pavlovich.
I'm
It
sure.
was like panic stations the other week. He's got power, and I thought he's thinking he's going to lose, but yeah, you just never know
Yeah.
in that heavyweight division, do you, Franco?
No, you really don't. It's crazy. You never know. I mean, a fight could really go any direction, especially, the heavyweights. So, yeah, it's true. It's true. But the better odds, definitely Jones. Definitely, definitely. As
What
long as he
about the?
stays out of trouble, the guy,
Oh,
he's been in some
yeah.
random trouble.
Look, look how many more fights he could have had. And it
I
just
know.
goes to show just how good he is. But
Yeah.
imagine his record now. Uh, it'd be
Yeah.
10, 15 more fights potentially. It's just
Hmm.
that's a shame, but he's still
Yeah.
pound for
Not.
pound the greatest of all time.
I think I want to see, and if my dream matchmaking, Israel Adesanya versus John Jones.
Mm,
I know they're different
mm.
weight classes and all that, but I mean, if I was just again, if a guy can dream, that's my fight to watch.
How about the boxing? Have you heard obviously about Fury and Usyk and all
Oh,
that going on?
I'm a huge Fury
Yeah.
fan. Huge Fury. Just because he's so pro wrestling. And I love that about, guys transitioning that style into other like a huge Fury fan. Um I mean, he's just brought pro wrestling to boxing. He's made it entertaining again. He's made it. He's also legit. I mean,
Mm,
people call him sloppy, and people,
mm,
you don't. He's not a body guy. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But he's brought pro wrestling. He's brought it. It's just so entertaining for the first time in a while since Mike Tyson to me and De La Hoya. You know what I mean? I mean, those guys made it so entertaining where if you weren't even a boxing fan, you wanted to watch the fight.
mhm,
So he's doing that for boxing, which is, a lot of people are saying boxing was dying or it was turning into this thing with the Paul brothers, kind of making it this exhibition kind of thing. But no, I think he's keeping it legit, but also making it entertaining again. So no, huge fan of him, huge fan. He's kind of like he's the Conor McGregor of boxing. And that's another guy that brought the pro wrestling elements to the UFC and in a time where UFC was kind of, so, no, huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to him promoting his own show and selling out, stadiums. I mean, it
unbelievable.
just speaks
Mm.
words to him and his team, and just insane, insane. I mean, the guy, you can't say anything bad about him.
Yeah, when you've got the ability to draw nine figures and take that home, that is just
Mm.
astronomical. I know, obviously, Mayweather was probably the first to do that, wasn't he? With
Yeah, but I
facing
don't think he's
McGregor.
doing it. I don't think
No,
Mayweather's
no,
not doing it himself. I
no.
think the Gypsy King is.
Yeah, he's more of a talker, isn't he? I mean, I don't think
Yeah, he's the
Mayweather's. I
he's
don't.
the he's the main event, the promoter,
Yeah,
the matchmaker. He's doing it all. So I mean, of course, yeah, he's crushing it.
I just think I'm just glad the Saudis have got involved. Now we're not going to get cards over here for the big fights. That's the only
Right.
negative I've got. But they've got all the promoters together now. They're,
Yep.
they're not at odds with one
Right.
another. So His Excellency has done a fantastic job. Saudi Arabia gets bad press, but for sport and things of that nature, what
Yeah, I
they've
mean,
been
they've done it
able
for
to do.
golf now,
Yeah, the golf.
boxing.
The golf is a bit. It's
Mm.
splitting people of golf, but I think with other sport they've done very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, golf, boxing. I think they're gonna do
Mm.
Formula One.
Yeah.
I mean, they get pro wrestling when they want, whenever they
Hmm.
want. So yeah, it's there. I mean, yeah, the money's over there for sure, which is um I don't know if I can talk about that yet, but anyway, all right, I didn't cut
Yeah,
that part out.
I can do if needs be. I can do if needs be. Not a
No,
problem.
no, you're fine, you're fine.
No.
But yeah, maybe something for next year or the following year. But anyway, yeah, no, the money's over there, and definitely the biggest parts of any sport is over there right now. So yeah, man. I mean, they're all about solidarity and no more. Um, I don't think they would love independent wrestling the way it is. I think they want it to be one thing, and I
Hmm.
think more organization for things that always doesn't hurt in a way if it's done right. But I don't think it would work here. I think it would be more of a spectacle and a organized thing in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. So yeah, no, hats off to him.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking forward to December 23rd, that big card as well, because they're all on it, aren't they? But obviously, they're not fighting specifically. It's not Wilder and AJ, but they're all
Right.
involved now. That's four main events in one night, Franco.
Yeah.
This is how gargantuan it's getting.
It's nuts. And just
I
imagine
am
the pay-per-view. That's what they're banking on is the pay-per-view
unbelievable.
buys from that alone. It's gonna be
And
insane.
Dimitri Bivol, pound for pound, probably the best. He was everybody's fighter of the year last year. And
Yeah.
Lyndon Arthur from
Yeah.
Bolton. I know you know Bolton
I
very
know.
well.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
What Lyndon Arthur is a huge underdog. Don't get me wrong, but you're facing the best light heavyweight in the world. So
Yeah.
amazing,
It's
amazing,
tough. Tough fights. I mean, but definitely fights you want to tune in and watch. So
absolutely, absolutely.
I
Now,
think they could pull off a 2-day event with something like that, but they're gonna do it all in
unbelievable.
one night.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is. I'm with you
crazy.
on that. That'll be the next thing. That'll be 100%, 100%. Now, current wrestling. Have you had much time to watch, or have you just been busy, busy? Obviously doing
Oh
your
boy.
thing.
Like the mainstream wrestling.
Yeah, I
Uh
love asking you about this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love what they're doing with Roman still. I think, no one beats him really that's believable. So I think I love what they're doing with him still. It was really interesting to see Cody Rhodes go back. Apparently CM Punk is back, which I always thought he should have just went back there to begin with. Um, I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I watch any AEW. I know a lot of guys there personally, but I just don't watch it. Just because it's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems a little more unorganized than anything else. So I
Mm-hmm.
just don't watch it.
No.
And but yeah, I mean WWE is doing fine. I think I really haven't watched the new NXT too much outside of what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have some friends there that send me their matches and stuff, and outside of that stuff, I haven't really sat and watched the whole episode. So, but the Braun Breaker guy's looking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna develop well, and there's a few. I mean, the women in NXT now are probably gonna be very good once they get called up. I don't really know what they're doing with the women on the main roster really, but um, it's not that I'm not saying it's stale, but I think we've
No, no,
seen
no,
it.
no.
Yeah, we've
Mm-hmm.
seen it though, so I think bringing the newer female wrestlers in from NXT would help that. But yeah, I think I mean again Roman Reigns storyline and uh oh Scott's doing awesome. What do they call him? LA Knight. LA Knight. He's doing awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super happy for him and he's just one of those guys that like I mean he's to the moon and back. The guy's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
great. I mean, everybody is always saying the yeah stuff, and he reminds me so much of Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Mm-hmm.
but in 2023, so
Absolutely.
so yeah, he's doing great, and yeah, man, it's just fun to see a lot of those guys finally, getting there and putting in their 15 minutes.
It's good getting your viewpoint about AEW as a wrestler. As a wrestler, I'm fan perspective, as I
Of
always
course.
reiterate. So it's good to hear that if it's not for you, it's not for you. This is where people get.
No, yeah, and I
This
don't
is
want to
where.
discourage anybody from
No,
watching it.
I
Like
know that. Yeah.
I think AEW does a great job of making the people happy that already like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you like AEW and you watch AEW, they're gonna do a great
Mm-hmm.
job of keeping you happy every week. But if you like other things, you're probably not gonna like AEW. You know what I mean? And it's fine. Like it's not doesn't have to be for everybody. I don't
Absolutely.
think that's what they're trying to do either. That's why they're not running other than Wembley Stadium, they're not running these big uh auditoriums or event if they're running the smaller venues compared to Raw or SmackDown or like the Survivor Series, Royal Rumbles. They're running small venues in those, and their fans are just hardcore fans. Like for them, you know what I mean. Their fans don't care if it all doesn't make sense. They just want to see a bunch of flips and a bunch of dives and it's fine. Like go for it. You go ahead, make those people happy. Make your fans happy. I'm a strong believer in that.
Absolutely. I had to go to London. I said in 2019 with the inception of the company, I am going. But The lads have already booked for next year. I'm one and done. I'm one and done. I'm one and done. I said, I just want to be there for the first show they bring over. And I went, Franco, and the guys like, we've booked you a ticket. They'll sell the ticket. Someone will go. I felt a bit bad, but I've done it. I've done it now. It was just to say I've done SummerSlam 92 and I've done the next Wembley Stadium show. That was a lot to do, from my personal perspective.
Yeah, I mean, but again, their fan base will go to anything they ever do, and that's fine because
Absolutely.
they do a great job of keeping those people happy. So yeah, maybe it wasn't for you, but you got to go. You said you went, and
it was brilliant. It was brilliant. But like, obviously, when you're hearing about what happened with Punk and Jack Perry and all that, I can't be doing with all the. I can't be doing with all that online because what's fact and what's actually fiction. The people that were there know what happened. The spin, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't there.
I don't read any of that stuff. I don't follow it.
They're just immersed in it, but they know no more than me and you would know about it.
No, yeah.
So that's that, isn't it? But yeah, absolutely. Now, in closing, obviously, just plug in China if you would, please. I will put the graphic up now.
Of course. January 27th, Franco Varga travels to Hong Kong to face MA, the Middle Kingdom Wrestling Champion. Just dream match in the making for a lot of people. It's just surreal to me, the excitement behind this event already. But it's got myself. I mean, it's got Big Sam. The match itself has the Slam, who is a veteran wrestler of China. But yeah, for the Middle Kingdom heavyweight title, and I have a 100% intention of winning that thing. I don't intend on learning Mandarin. I've tried a little bit. I got a little bit. But
it'll give you something to go on.
Yeah, I got a little bit down. I got a little bit down. But for the most part, they speak English. So I'm very I calmed a lot of my nerves over the years. But no, I'm super just. I mean, it's going to be on Premier Streaming Network, so that's another bonus for a lot of the fans who want to watch it, and press who want to watch it.
They're doing very well.
But yeah, and it's just, if you haven't heard the podcast with Chris Jericho, there's going to be a few more things for press coming out with me and Middle Kingdom. So just it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's finally happening, and we're almost there. So definitely tune into the stream. Again, Premier Streaming Network. Another network that just came out of nowhere and just blew up, So everyone expected something like this to be on Fight or something like that when we first announced it, but it's on Premier Streaming. So go get it. And I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. Middle Kingdom Wrestling. And again, the next big one is first time ever Canada.
Yes.
In May 17th, just announced. Tickets are it's Stu, it's just crazy to me when I'll get a phone call like midnight or close to, and it's the box office lady, and she's like, "Hey, people are calling about tickets. When are these tickets going online? Like, when can we start selling tickets?" I'm like, "For a show in May? It's still December."
You've got the brand. This is the thing.
I can't be nothing more than grateful, and I just cannot believe it though. Sometimes, like, little old me, I just announced a show in May, just to put it out there, and they're already calling the box office people asking about tickets. So, and the funny thing we did this year with it was, there's a picture of me, and then we've blacked out all the other stars of the show. So we're gonna do a it's like a giveaway kind of thing. If you guess all of the people on the show, you're getting 2 free tickets and airfare to the event.
Always thinking different. I like it. I wish I could.
So it's gonna be potentially someone's first time in Canada, and to watch first time ever Canada, Amazing. New Brunswick, Canada. So it's gonna be fun.
Oh, fantastic, man! Fantastic, Franco.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, man.
Third appearance. Justin Clapper's not going to be happy. JC's not going to be happy. He's only had 2 appearances.
Oh, I got to stay one step ahead of JC, So Whenever he's on for the third time, we'll schedule the fourth one.
We'll get the fourth one just to keep him on his toes.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. My guest, the biggest wrestler ever for his third appearance on SWP. It's Mr. Franco Varga. Mr.
Hey, man, thank you so much.
On this Christmas edition for episode 163.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and the family, mate.
Absolutely. I'll probably get a pair of socks, but it'll be great.
You can't beat a pair of socks at Christmas.
Yeah, this is the dad socks. That's all we all ever get, right? Socks or underwear,
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you.